Coming to you live from the top secret broadcasting bunker here at Area 52. That's right in the heart of the frozen tundra of eastern Siberia. Good to be with you today. Thank you for all the emails. Thank you for all the emails that you sent while I was gone. I didn't get a chance to read very many of them at all. Was too busy, either en route, which means I have no internet access, or just the very sparse time I was in it's not the regular 8 motel in Harrison, Arkansas, but the super one. The Super 8 motel is where we were staying, and didn't get a chance to read everybody's email there either. Spent all day Friday. Once we got into Harrison Thursday, we went to church, fellowshiped with everybody, and then all day Friday listening to preaching from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And good preaching it was. A little bit of laughter there, and it's good. It's good to just have a good time in the Lord, and a little bit of crying as well, and a little bit of praying. Some really, really, really good music that was out there. A group called Southern Raised, 3 sisters and a bro, that good family. And they all play bluegrass music, but they were classically trained. And it was just a joy to fellowship with them once again. We are trying to get them at our church on a Sunday morning. We had tried to arrange May 20th, but it wasn't going to work for them. And so we are going to try again at getting them at our church. It'll be a Sunday morning. We'll broadcast it. Everybody can watch it. You can buy their CDs or whatever it is. And we're just looking forward to having a good time. We would have been in revival this week with Pastor Reg Kelly, and I goofed. And I would, in the initial conversation to talk to him about coming out, we had mentioned this week as a date, and I was supposed to go back and verify that for him, and I never did. And so Saturday night when I came home, I gave him a call and I said, "All right, are you ready?" And he said, So it was just a goof on my part. We have moved that. Get your calendars out now. Get ready. We have moved the date of our revival services. I call it revival. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what God's going to lead him to do, how he's going to preach or teach or whatever. But it will be May 7th, 8th, and 9th, and every service will be at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And we will broadcast those services live as they are happening. Pastor Reg is a good friend of mine, and he's got a good church down in this is farm territory. These are farm people. There's not a city slicker in the whole bunch of them. And that's who he pastors down there. Interesting thing about Pastor Reg's church down there, since there's a lot of farms, there is a lot of Mennonite communities and a few Amish. There's a little bit of a difference between them. You can sort of consider Mennonites as liberal Amish, okay? They'll actually roll their sleeves up. Anyway, not meaning to make fun of them. Their lifestyle is their business, and probably wouldn't do us any harm to get back to good hard work and not having cell phones everywhere and TVs on and stuff like that. But one of the things that he has found out being in that community, just because you're a Mennonite or Amish, that does not make you saved. And he said, in fact, one of the problems that they have in those communities is that they have a bishop that rules over them. Their bishop rules over the whole community. And if you are found in violation of the rules of the community and do not repent, they'll put you out. And in their terminology, when they put you out, you're out. You are not in, you're out. You're out of salvation. And the situation is that bishop will tell you whether or not you're saved. Now, I know of another religion whose bishops can tell you whether or not you're saved. I have a problem with that. I can't tell anybody that they're saved. That's not my job. My job is to shepherd the sheep. It's to enlighten them with the Word. It's to stir up the Word of God in their hearts. But it's not my job to say, okay, you're saved and you're not. That's not my job. But he has, last time I was down there, which was several years ago, he had a family in that church that the ladies still wore the head covering and everything like that. They still maintained their tradition, their values, and their lifestyle and everything like that. It's just that the husband started just reading the Bible, and he went, wait a minute. I think it says here that we're saved by grace through faith and not of works. And God began to deal with his heart, and he got saved. He had been a Mennonite all of his life, and he got saved. And he went and told some people, and they put him out. They put him out of the community. They said, you get out, you're not one of us. And in their eyes, he's not saved. But I'm glad that it's not in man's eyes on who's saved. I'm glad man doesn't make that choice, make that decision. If you call me or write me or ask me somehow, some way, Pastor Mike, do you think so-and-so is saved? I don't know. I can tell you the fruits of a false prophet and the signs of the false prophet. And one of the things that the Bible mentions about false prophets is that they are twice dead. That sounds like they're not saved and they're not ever going to be saved when you're twice dead. When you're twice dead, you're just automatically just ready to be thrown right into the lake of fire. And so anyway, but he'll be coming, Pastor Reg will be coming to us. Let me find that date again. May 7th, 8th, and 9th, Monday, Tuesday, and a Woden's Day. Woden's Day. That's interesting. I actually have my buddy Mike from Canada, and I tease the Canadians. I guess maybe the Canadians tease us. But I tease the Canadians on sort of how they talk. That goes back to when I was a teenager and I was watching a comedy program called SCTV, and it featured a lot of Canadian artists, Rick Moranis and I can't remember all the names, but there was two characters on there named Bob and Doug McKenzie from the Great White North. And they said, how's it going, eh? And they talk like this, eh? And I kind of got that in my mind when I went to New Brunswick, Canada, back in the 80s on a college trip. I met some people that said, how's it going, eh? I mean, they really talk like that. And then Mike, my friend from Canada, he calls every now and then and always cheers me up. And he talks just like this, eh? And he said, how's it going, Mike? And we have a good conversation. Anyway, Mike sent me this, speaking of Woden's Day. But I don't know if you know that. The days of the week are named after gods. Okay? You have the sun god on Sunday. You have and this is where the Seventh-day Adventists really they just like to leap all over everybody. See, you go to church on Sunday. That's the day of the sun worship, you little pagan. And so Sunday and Moon Day, and I forgot what Tuesday was. It's some god. Wednesday is Woden's Day. And Thor's Day is the next day after that. And Freeze Day. And then you have the day of Saturn, the god. The god of whatever. Saturn is Satan, by the way. That's Saturday. That's the seventh day. And so the argument that I'm a pagan because I go to church on Sunday and I worship the sun god should also apply to those who go on Saturn's day as well. But anyway, I got way too much to talk about today to be chasing too many rabbits. And you guys are writing in emails already, I can see. And I appreciate it, by the way. I did on the Pastor Mike Online emails. I went backwards and kind of looked at some, and I've got some in the queue that if we get a chance to, we'll deal with today. But here is what Mike, my buddy in Canada, sent me. He said, you have got to take a look at this. Now, let me set this up for you. This falls under the category of technology, mark of the beast, tracking systems, the whole technology thing, able to track everybody. There was a thing come out, I think it was last week sometime, from Japan that they have. I made note of it. I probably won't be able to find it very quickly. or I'd read it to you. Now I closed out my Evernote thing. But anyway, it was a computer thing in Japan that had the ability of reading, I don't know how many millions of human faces in a second. Okay? You know, he's got these cameras, you know, like this one right here. Got this camera here. Got cameras everywhere. And facial recognition software has developed so rapidly over the years that now they have the ability, as soon as you pass by a camera, the computer goes, "That's Mike Hoggard. Hey, you know how we recognize people just like that. Hey, I know you." Computers are now having the capability of doing that. And you stop and think about the idea of when you buy something at the store, and you don't, and they say, "Can we please have your telephone number or your email address?" You say, "No way," because you're going to use this to attach this transaction with my personal data, and you'll know that I bought this, and you're going to put this in a database somewhere. So forget you. I'm not giving you anything like that. And they said, "Well, oh, that's okay. We got a picture of you now, and we've got that in the database. And should you ever do some kind of transaction where you have to identify yourself, we will know exactly who you are. And every place you go in the world with a camera hooked up to a network system, we'll be able to know exactly who you are, where you were, everything." And so here is one of the companies that's involved in that. It's called Odin. Think about that. Odin. Do you know who Odin is? Odin is the Norse Antichrist. That's who Odin is. Odin is he's the god that died, and he comes from the north. Think about that. And he's the god that died, and he's going to be resurrected again. That's who Odin is. And so Odin, the company, has a software, the most trusted RFID software, radio frequency identification. Think about it. Software, and they have a software called I Am. I wonder who that is named after. That's the Odin I Am software. Are you getting sort of an idea now of what spirit is running the show nowadays?